In this segment, we're going to cover how an SIA can use the new SNAP-Ed State Plan portal to facilitate the process of creating California's SNAP-Ed State Plan. Before going into the content of this video, it's important that you understand that this segment is designed to be viewed in sequence as part of the series of educational videos about using the new SNAP-Ed State Plan portal. This video builds on key concepts and training contained in prerequisite videos, especially the video that provides an overview of the SNAP-Ed State Plan site, the video that provides an in-depth tour of the SNAP-Ed State Plan site, and because you will be heavily involved in overseeing the development of LIA documents, the video titled How an LIA Participates in the Development of the State Plan. As a participant in the process to develop the state plan, it's essential that you view all of the videos in the first training section on the SharePoint support page, those being the SNAP-Ed participation training videos. If you're interested in understanding the entire process through which the SNAP-Ed State Plan portal facilitates and administrates the production of a complete state plan, you could also watch the overview of the SNAP-Ed State Plan process. Having watched the prerequisite videos, especially the one titled How an LIA Participates in the Development of the State Plan, you should already be quite familiar with this portal, including the concepts of the layout of the site collection, how to navigate the site collection, especially the SIA site and the FNS site, the concept of breaking the process of developing the state plan into phases, the idea of how the dashboards work, how documents are opened, edited, and saved in place in their SharePoint libraries, the differences between opening and editing the integrated work plans versus the budgets and the targeting summaries, and how document statuses are set. If any of these concepts are not familiar to you, watching each one of the participation training videos that occur previous to this one should quickly bring you up to speed. With the prerequisites out of the way, let's get started. As you already know, each phase in the development of the state plan is announced with an email message to the participants that explain when the phase starts, how long it lasts, and when it ends. The first phase involving the SIAs is the one that occurs just after the LIAs have completed their initial work on the three key documents that make up 85% of the state plan, those being the work plan, the targeting summary, and the budgets. In this phase, the SIAs visit the LIA site and use the SIA dashboard located there to gain access to the documents that they need to review. The primary focus of this phase is to open, review, and edit these documents by adding your comments that the LIAs will later use to refine these documents in the next phase. The process by which the SIAs open these documents and edit them in order to leave comments and recommendations is identical to the process that you saw demonstrated in the LIA training video. The only difference here is that when you are through adding your comments, you need to set the status on each document to indicate whether it needs additional work by the LIAs or not. Let's take a look at that process. Let's assume that we have reviewed the Alameda work plan and have added some comments that indicate issues that need to be addressed. What we need to do after we've saved the document is to select it, go up into the ribbon, and making sure that the Files tab is selected, click on the Edit Properties icon. That delivers us to the page that allows us to set the properties on this document. On this page, all you need to do is to set the status field that pertains to your agency. In this case, we'll assume that we represent CCC and that we have included some comments into the document that need to be addressed by the LIAs. All we need to do is to click on the drop-down and select Rejected. This will indicate to the SharePoint library, and to the LIAs in the next phase, that there is work that needs to be done on this document according to the CCC SIA. If, from your perspective as a CCC SIA, the document did not require further modification by the LIAs, you would simply set the status to Approved. One special note here, the last SIA to update their SIA status needs to set the Approval status to SIA Rejected if any SIA rejected this document, or set it to SIA Approved if every SIA approved it. In the following phase, where the LIAs review these documents again, these status fields will assist the LIAs in identifying what needs to be worked on or whether or not any additional work needs to be done at this point in time. As you review the work plan, targeting summary, and budget, the process will be identical, except that in the case of the Excel documents, you will need to check them out before changing the status and check them back in after changing the status. a process that you saw demonstrated in the LIA participation video. That's really all that's involved in the phase where the SIAs review the initial work by the LIAs. In the phase that occurs next, the LIAs will again have access to edit these documents. They will review them and make changes based on the SIA comments. The phase after that will again focus on SIA review, except that this time the SIAs will actually make the changes that they feel are still unaddressed. Then they will set the status of each document to SIA approved. As you know, later in the second half of the process to create the state plan, the LIAs will make changes in these three key documents that reflect the recommendations of the FNS representatives. After the LIAs have incorporated the FNS recommended changes, there will again be a phase where the SIAs review the documents, make any additional changes they believe to be required, set the status to SIA approved. That sets the stage for a phase where these documents are then reviewed by the CDSS administrators. In the phase where the documents are reviewed by the CDSS administrators, the administrators make any final changes that they believe are required of the documents and set the document status to CDSS approved, which is a requirement to automatically convert them into PDF documents. If you would like more information detailing each step or phase in the process to create a final approved state plan, just visit the portal's training site and watch the video entitled Overview of the State Plan Process. Everything that we've covered so far in this segment has been focused on the creation and grooming of the three LIA-generated documents that account for 85% of the state plan. Approximately 700 pages, or 15% of the state plan, is composed of documents other than work plans and budgets. There are a group of documents uniquely created and groomed by the SIAs, and a group of documents uniquely created and groomed by the CDSS administrators. Let's focus on the tools that are available to assist the SIAs in developing the documents unique to them. For that, let's visit the SIA site. Here we are in the SIA site. In addition to the announcements area and the calendars and other information that helps the SIAs coordinate their efforts, there is an individual library and associated dashboard for each state agency to use in the development of the documents unique to them. Over in the secondary navigation, you can see a link to each one of these dashboards. Let's talk about how these document libraries and dashboards can be used to facilitate the creation and management of the agency-generated documents. Let's visit the CCC Dashboard. The CCC Dashboard, like each of the other agency dashboards, provides 4 panels that give you specific views into a single library dedicated to the documents for that agency. There is a separate video about this dashboard entitled Managing the Preparation of Documents Unique to the SIAs. Although that video will detail the process of using these dashboards, it's a good idea to discuss the concepts behind them now. In the real world, it's very common to create a document and then want to have one of your peers review it and make changes or improvements to it. This is normally done by taking the document you created and emailing it to a person with some instructions in the email as to what you want them to do with it. When they receive the email, they read the instructions about what you want them to do with the document, then they open the document, make those changes, and email it back to you as an attachment, with a message in the email telling you what they did or what you still need to do. This process works fine, but it usually results in situations where there are multiple copies of the same document floating around, and people become confused as to which is the latest version and what they're supposed to do with it. The dashboard and library combination created here eliminates all of those issues and provides an incredible level of convenience and efficiency. Attempting the same process using this page works like this. You create your document using Microsoft Word. You drag and drop it into the panel called Documents Created by You. Then you select the document and edit the properties. When you edit the properties, you can select the person you want to work on the document next by putting their name in a field called In Basket. At the same time, you put some information into a field called Current Task, which should be the information about what you want them to do with the document. When they visit this page, because SharePoint knows who they are, your document will show up in the top panel for them, the Your In Basket panel, because you put their name in the In Basket field. Adjacent to the name of the document in the In Basket panel will be a description of the Current Task, which is the reason why you passed the document to them. They can then update the document and set the In Basket field and Current Task field to send it back to you with instructions or forward it to anyone else with instructions. This facilitates a free-form routing methodology that allows documents to be easily passed from individual to individual with accompanying instructions without resorting to email. The benefits here are that you are absolutely guaranteed that you're always looking at the latest version of the document because there's only one document. You can always see whose in-basket it's in and what they've been asked to do with it. Although this may seem like a strange process initially, it has a very wide appeal in the world of document management today. Again, if you're interested in using this process to manage the documents that are unique to the SIAs, you can learn more by watching the video dedicated to this topic. And remember, if you need assistance working with the SNAP-Ed State Plan portal, just contact the CDSS administrators.